I decided I'm gonna make myself hate myself. I'm gonna throw this behind my shoulder, and then I'm going to turn, save 10% off your entire Onnit purchase with code PATD. Block the sword, comb your hair back, put your seatbelt on. What's going on, guys? Pat Damiano here, coming to you from the garage once again. And today we've got ourselves a nice strength and mobility workout. So I went to a buddy's gym the other day and I really beat myself up lifting a bunch of heavy stuff. So I'm feeling it today. My central nervous system is a little shot. I'm pretty damn sore all over. So today we are gonna still get in some solid strength work, but there's gonna be just as much emphasis on mobility, moving a little bit, opening things up, and just get myself feeling right after a pretty hectic workout yesterday. So I am excited for this one. It's gonna be good. We're gonna be using some kettlebells and some mace work. I haven't done some mace work in a little bit, so I'm excited to show you guys that. I'm gonna be doing a lot of teaching with the mace work, so that's gonna be really good for you if you are fairly new to maces or still trying to figure some things out. And at the end of the day, we're still gonna have a great workout in. Strength and mobility workouts are still good if you're doing them the right way, and they're super important to keep you going. You can't beat yourself up every day. So workouts like this are very important and necessary in the longevity of training. So before we get into it though, we're gonna head to the whiteboard and talk about it. All right, so here's what we've got on the menu for today. We have 3 different supersets. Each one of them is going to have a kettlebell exercise and a mace exercise. Like I said, a lot of good mace stuff today, so I'm gonna be doing a lot of teaching and coaching as we go throughout this. So the first one's gonna be starting off with 5 on each side of a half kneeling windmill. I'm gonna show you what that looks like and how to do it. So this is one of the best mobility and balance exercises that there are. So I'm gonna be going over a few key things to focus on when you're doing them, because they can get a little tricky, but I promise if you just focus on what I talk about today, you're gonna have no problem doing them in the future. That is gonna be paired up with 10 mace 360s on each side. I'm gonna be briefly breaking down how to swing a mace or do a 360 in this video as well, so make sure you stick around for that part. So this is gonna be used as kind of a warm-up. I'm just gonna be using this part to prime my body, get myself moving, and we're going anywhere from 3 to 4 sets. Each one of these supersets is gonna be anywhere from 3 to 4 sets, kind of playing today a decent bit by ear, just to see how I'm feeling as I go through this, and how much I feel like challenge myself, and how much I warm up and open up. So after we do 3 to 4 sets of that, we're gonna be making our way into 5 Cossack squats on each side, another fantastic lower body strength and mobility exercise. I'm also gonna be giving you a couple tips on that, because a lot of people tend to do these the wrong way, or not wrong, but not the most efficient way. So I'm gonna show you a couple different ways today, how to get a little bit lower and really get the most out of them. We're then gonna go into 15 on each side, 10 and 2s. If you don't know what that is, you will find out. It's another mace exercise, very similar to the 360, and also a pretty good skill and teaching tool to teach you how to get the rhythm when doing a regular mace 360. So again, anywhere from 3 to 4 sets of that. We're then going to cap it off. This is going to be like the real solid strength work. Like I said, this isn't all mobility. Now, granted, this stuff is still strength work, so I just need to throw that out there. But this is going to be a little bit more of that traditional strength work. We're doing 6 split squats on each leg. I kind of want to challenge myself today. As sore as I am, my lower body actually feels okay. And then we're going to go 10 each side, single arm mace 360s. Now, this number is subject to change depending on how sore my triceps are feeling as we get later into this workout, because they are very sore. Anywhere from 3 to 4 sets on this one. Again, playing it by ear. This one I'm going to be hopefully aiming for 4 sets so we can get some solid split squats in there. All right, so this is what we got on the menu for today. Let's get just a little bodyweight mobility routine going, and then let's get into it. All right, so we did a nice little mobility routine just for about 5 minutes of bodyweight stuff to get things opened up. We're now getting into our first superset, and we're gonna talk about this half kneeling windmill. So real quick, I'm just gonna show you what a rep is gonna look like. Down and up to the floor each time, and we're gonna be doing 5 reps of that on each side. So a couple things to focus on when it comes to doing this. Let's talk about our setup position. So half kneeling, meaning one knee is on the ground, one leg is up. My right leg is up, that means my right hand is gonna be up overhead with this kettlebell. From here, I'm gonna take my left foot and do this little windshield wiper movement where I kick it in just a little bit, so it's not fully straight, I kick it in. From here, as I look up at the kettlebell, I'm gonna take my left hand and slide it down my leg so it's easier for me to find the floor. When I get my hand to the floor, there's a good chance that your mobility forces you to stop here. That is fine. You can just come straight up. From there, hand to the ground and up. If you can get lower, what we're gonna do is try and get our elbow to the floor. If you can get your elbow to the floor, awesome. And then we make our way back up. Now, if you can't get your elbow to the floor, you bring your hand to the ground and then you get your elbow as close to the floor as you can. And then you come up from there. And then as you open up a little bit, you can get a little bit farther each and every rep. Okay. So like I said, we're going to be doing 5 reps on each side. I'm going to call those demonstration ones 3 reps. So I'm going to be doing 2 more. Staying looking up at this kettlebell the entire time is going to keep you very balanced. If you look anywhere else, you will probably struggle with your balance. If you've never done these before, I highly recommend going as basically as light as you can. All right, so now left leg is up, left arm is up, right foot windshield wipers in, and we're back down. And as you will probably notice, one side is going to feel pretty good compared to the other side. You're probably going to have one side that is much tougher. This exercise is going to expose a lot of imbalances in your shoulder mobility, your hips, and your back. So just be ready for that. If one side can get a little bit lower and the other side, that is totally fine. As always with mobility pieces like this where we're moving with weight, go where your body's going to let you go. Do not force anything, but we also want to try and push just a little bit farther, like a millimeter each and every rep, because that's how we're going to eventually open up. So an exercise like this is great as we're doing 3 to 4 sets, 5 reps. You can try and get just a little bit farther each and every time. You will find that you open up. All right, so next up we have our Mace 360s. Like I said, I want to go over some pointers and some coaching cues when it comes to doing this exercise. Now, the only mace I have with me right now in the garage is 25 pounds, so I'm kicking it off to the side for now. In an ideal world, you have a pretty light mace that you feel comfortable doing, and there are 2 different ways you can really start out. You can either really choke up high on the mace, or you can start with it upside down, so you don't really have to fight any sort of the weight. So I'm just gonna very briefly go over the 3 main coaching cues. So when I'm here, I'm starting out, I'm going to block the sword. That's the first one. So I lift the mace up nice and high as if somebody's going to come chop me in half with the sword. I'm not just tilting it to the side because then they can still get me, and I'm not just lifting up. Lift up and tilt to the side. From there, the second cue is going to be comb my hair back or slick my hair back. This is so your hands get all the way back behind your head. And for a split second, you're standing in front of me, my hands are going to disappear. So I say slick the hair back all the way because that really emphasizes getting your hands behind the head. So we have block the sword, comb your hair back. From there, our third and final cue is going to be put your seatbelt on. Really think about using your elbows and your torso to bring this mace back to the center position so that we end up with our hands right at our belly button and we are right where we need to be to start this second rep. So again, our cues are going to be block the sword, comb your hair back, and put your seatbelt on. Block the sword, comb your hair back, put your seatbelt on, and then we just consistently repeat that. Now, the idea is to do that with something like a PVC pipe, a broomstick, a super light mace that you're choked up on, or one that's upside down, very slowly, and break it down until you get comfortable with it. And then you can start to make it one fluid piece, all right? And ideally, it's gonna look like this, all right? 10 on each side. One more, 10, other side. Perfect. Whew. All right, that's one set down. I think I'm gonna go with 4 of these to get a little extra movement in. These feel good, just kind of getting the body going. All right, let's do it. Okay, so 4 sets of that wrapped up. I stayed at the same weights the whole time. Well, I have to with the mace, but didn't go any heavier on the windmills. Like I said, I was just using that one to kind of warm myself up and get myself prepped, which I now feel good for. So the Cossack squats, I think I'm gonna be challenging myself a little bit. And then we've got our 10 and 2. So starting off with our Cossack squats. So the way these are going to work, okay, I'm gonna demonstrate without weight first. You're gonna get your feet out wide. Probably a little wider than you think. That's one of the things that people tend to mess up with these is they don't have their feet wide enough. So feet are gonna be out wide. You're then going to turn your toes out slightly. We're not going crazy, but it's gonna be really hard to do these if your toes are pointed forward. So toes are going to be slightly turned out. From here, I'm going to push my butt back and go to one side, and then I come back up. I personally like to alternate. So I'll go to the other side and go back and forth. We're gonna do 5 like that. Something else to think about, especially if you have a little weight in your hands, it's actually going to help you get lower. As I go to my right side, I'm gonna turn to my left a little bit and keep this toe, or turn this foot up off of the ground, and then I come up. I know I was holding on to that kettlebell. It's just easier for me to hang out down there and show you guys. But again, here, turn, and then we come up, and that's kind of what we're looking for. That's gonna be something that's really helpful to get nice and low in those Cossack squats, all right? So we're going 5 on each side. I'm gonna be holding this kettlebell up in this goblet position here, all right? That's 5 of those. Those felt pretty good. Like I was saying before with the half kneeling windmills, you don't have to get super deep right away. You can open up as you go throughout your set and as you go throughout your sets in general, like your second, third, and fourth set. Don't force anything, but allow a little bit of weight to push you into a slightly uncomfortable position. You'll start to build strength in it, and that's gonna give you lasting mobility in those positions. All right, next up is our 10 and 2. So a 10 and 2 is where you do almost an entire 360, but then you stop and then go back the other side. Stop, back the other side. So this is a really good, so 10 and 2, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, all right? So think about it like that. If you're looking at a clock with these, that's kind of what we're looking for. This is a really good way to teach people the flow with our torso that needs to happen with a mace 360. A lot of people get a little tight and just kind of aggressively spin this mace around their head. When they are doing 360s, this 10 and 2 is going to teach you the flow and how to go with it, all right? So we're doing 15 on each side, which is a decent amount. That's gonna be 30 total reps, all right? Here we go. So hand still comes down to the belly button, but the mace stops right at 10 and 2 o'clock. Five more each side. Fifteen, 15, good. All right. I felt a little light. I might change the numbers on that just to give myself a little bit more of a challenge. But that's one set down. Again, I think we're gonna do 4 of these, and we're gonna be going up a weight in the Cossack squats. Let's do it. All right, fourth and final set of this superset coming up. Like I said, this isn't just mobility work. This is strength and mobility work. We got 62 pounds here for this last set of the Cossack squats. My legs are always fried from these, all right? So 62 pounds, 28 kilos for my non-Americans for the last set. Let's hit it. Still getting low. We don't change our depth because things got heavy. Hear those knees cracking. 'Whew. Ooh, I'm gonna feel those tomorrow. Oh yeah. All right, last set, 10 and 2s. So after I look back at the footage, I realized you probably couldn't see my last set of 10 and 2s that well, so hopefully this is a better angle. I did decide to stay at 15 for each side because I warmed up a little bit, which made me realize I'll feel better going into my single arm mace 360s, and those will actually be challenging for me with this weight, which is 25 pounds, by the way. Nice little quad god mace from Onnit, awesome piece of equipment. Save 10% off your entire Onnit purchase with code PATD. But yeah, I lost track of where I was. 15 on each side. Hopefully I got a better angle for you here. all about finesse. Don't grip the shit out of this mace. Let the mace flow. You're going with it. You're not forcing it around your head or back behind you. It's flow. It's technique. Okay, go with it. One more each side. Whew. All right, that's a wrap on that one. And let's have some fun with these split squats and single arm base 360s. I always feel a little better after warming up and moving, so let's have some fun. All right, so we skip straight forward to our fourth and final set of the split squats and single arm base swings. So I'm personally doing Bulgarian split squats because I have this stand that I can put my foot up against. Bulgarian split squats mean your back foot is up against something. Regular split squats means your back foot is just on the ground. If you have something you can put your foot on, I highly recommend it. They suck. They're the worst exercise ever. Everybody hates them for a reason. So if you have the ability to do them because they're good for you. If not, regular split squats is fine, right? So fourth and final set, I decided I'm gonna make myself hate myself. And we're doing 88 pounds in each hand for the final set, 40 kilos for my non-Americans. Let's have some fun. Ugh. 2 more for good luck. Yep, told you I was gonna hate myself. Oh God. Whoo. God, those fucking suck. All right, fourth and final set of single arm base swings coming up. Again, we're doing 10 on each side. So I'm gonna go over this very, very briefly. It is very important to treat the single arm base swing and any mason club swinging as a throwing motion. So here's a way to do it if you are not fully comfortable with it yet and need to break the movement down. So I'm gonna be here, just in front, going one arm at a time like this. If you need to break this movement down a little bit more, what I want you to do, it's in my right hand. I'm gonna turn to the right. I'm gonna throw this behind my shoulder, and then I'm going to turn to the other wall next to me. Back to this position. So I'm turning to the right, the mace goes behind me, I turn my body, and now I'm facing the left. The body follows the eyes. If I tell myself, look right, and then look left, my body's gonna turn. When my body turns, I use my hips, obliques, and all that stuff. Give that a shot. Last set, 10 on each arm. Here we go. Ooh, not for the bad side. And 10. Whoo! Done. Guys, that is a wrap. That's all I got for you today. Like I said, really good strength and mobility workout today. We had a nice split 50-50 each, got some really good strength work in, got some really good mobility work in, and I feel pretty good after that one. So these workouts are important. You can't just crush yourself every single day. And then the days that you do, maybe a day or two after that, you've got to take a little bit easier, do some more mobility work. But that doesn't mean do absolutely nothing. You can still lift, you can still work on some body parts that maybe aren't as sore. So just something to always keep in mind, always try and stay moving. Motion is lotion at the end of the day. I appreciate you guys sticking around, and if you like these types of workouts and want a little bit more structure with them, make sure you click the link in my description below so you can get 75% off your first 4 weeks of training. All you need is 40 minutes a day, 4 times a week, and the best part is you can do them at home, all right? Guys, thank you so much for sticking around. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.